The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Well, welcome back to True News. I'm Rick Wiles. Months ago, True News broke the news to the world that Barack Hussein Obama is possibly linked to another alias. In addition to Barry Soetoro, he may also be Harrison J. Bounel. The startling revelation was brought to us by a professional debt collector, Mr. Al Hendershot. The interview with Mr. Hendershot went viral on the internet. But I'm not surprised to hear now from Mr. Hendershot that somebody is scrubbing the records in Chicago linking Mr. Obama to the name Harrison J. Bounel. My only question is, what took them so long to start scrubbing the records? I figured it would happen immediately after we broadcast that interview months ago. Al Hendershot is on the telephone to tell us what is going on. Al, tell us
Hey, Rick,
yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing real good. Tell us what's going on. Are you seeing records in Chicago, Cook County, being sanitized?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We sure are. I just wanted to follow up, just to check and see if if all the information, that we were collecting, was still coherent, and because I just wanted, just to go back and to double check, and so one night I went ahead and I went back and to check it, double check it, triple check it, and it was gone, and so it was really the irony was that the about 2 weeks prior, we could still pull up, the Harrison J. Bounel alias under the Barack Obama, with the address. And but as of 2 days ago, well, really about a week ago, it was gone. And it just literally disappeared. And so we were having to backtrace it. And but under Harrison J. Bounel, under his Social Security number under Barack Obama, it's been scrubbed clean. And even the Harrison J. Bounel relationship under Barack H. Obama to Michelle Obama is gone. And so the only way to find it now, which is we actually backtracked it last night, we used the last name Bounel under a state search for Illinois, and guess what? It still popped up. So we discovered that last night.
Okay. Now,
so
let's tell us specifically what records have been sanitized.
What has been sanitized is the Harrison J. Bounel relationship to 5046 South Greenwood, with the home address that Barack Obama supposedly had.
I know, but what on what database? What record specifically? Are we talking about the county clerk, the county tax collector? Are we talking about online financial records? What records have been altered?
He is not associated with anything in Cook County.
Mm-hmm.
Barack Obama is not associated with anything in Cook County. Neither is Michelle Obama. It's the main databases that has his name attached to the property, 5046 South Greenwood, for the documents that have been used for that property.
Okay, what databases? What databases are connecting Bounel and Obama?
What databases?
Yes.
What databases are connecting Michelle Obama and Harrison J. Bounel?
Yes.
Those are the databases that they use to process the paperwork. They're in Cook County, so basically, the ones for Cook County, they're all being scrubbed. They're just not there anymore.
What I'm trying to get at is, who owns the databases? Who's in control of the databases?
The databases come from every single source that deals with the that deals with any paperwork that is filed through the through the counties, through the states, through the federal.
Okay, but somebody has to be in charge of the
back in there.
Yes,
sir, and I cannot explain that.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get at is to narrow it down. Which databases, and specifically, what is that database, and who's in control of that database? Who has the authority to alter the database? That's what I'm trying to get at.
I can't tell you that because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I know is that the company that I use, I pull my information from their access to all the public records and all the public information that they pull from.
Okay. So
I can't give you an exact name or an exact person.
Okay, so the service
describing it.
The service that you're using is accessing data from various sources, and what is now appearing on your computer screen is different than what it was 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so somewhere here we got to figure out who has the authority to alter these records.
Or who has the authority to contact the database company
Right.
to have them delete the files from their systems.
You'd have to have a lot of power and money.
It takes a phone call from somebody.
Yeah, it has to come from the White House or an intelligence agency or a bank with enormous deep pockets and influence. It has to come from somewhere. The mafia has got to come from somebody. Has to be somebody with some power, some clout, to order a records database company to alter the records. You and I can't call up and say, hey, I don't want my name linked over here anymore. They just laugh at you and hang up.
We don't have that kind of power. That's beyond that. That's above my pay grade right there. All I know is one day it's there, next day it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Okay, but you have found it. Last night you found it in one other place.
Yes, sir. I did a reverse search with the last name Bounel in Illinois, and it still popped up underneath Bounel. Period. No first name, no middle initial, no nothing. Bounel, Illinois, but it still popped up, and it carried through them when we clicked on the relatives of Bounel. Michelle Obama's name popped up and everything. So they weren't able to scrub that one. They didn't go back far enough. They just did the one in the Barack H. Obama, and that was it.
All right. Well, they will after this broadcast goes out.
Oh, probably.
You just told them hey, you guys missed one, so I expect to hear from you next week that one was sanitized also.
Yes, sir, pretty much.
Well, the only thing that surprises me is that they waited this long. You were on the program months ago. I really thought they'd get to work the next day. That radio program. That program was smoking. It went all over the world.
They're blogging about it in Russia, Germany, France, all over the place.
I know.
And it's really interesting. The one thing though that they still haven't touched on, was that buffer zone either. So they still can't figure that one out.
What do you mean? Remind me. Refresh my memory. The buffer zone.
You remember our previous conversation that we had, concerning the Resco lot.
Okay? Tony Resco's lot. Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir. The Resco lot. Well, I had a conversation with Cook County about 3 weeks ago. Okay, and I called them specifically asking them for just one particular PIN number. Okay, which was the PIN number associated with the Resco lot, the buffer zone. The $104,000 buffer zone. And the document is 0604733-162, and it's a $104,000 amount which was done in a deed and trust by Rita Resco to the Northern Trust Company for PIN number 035-2011-115-035. And it's not in existence anymore, okay, as per Cook County. And so then I asked Cook County, was there ever an assessment done on that property, or has it ever been taxed? And they told me no, it was never assessed, it was never taxed. And so then when I asked them why, well then they referred me to someone else, there in Cook County. And she told me that as per the assessor's office, she was in the assessor's office, that the PIN number was dissolved in 2007. And it made the 036 PIN number. And guess which lot that belongs to? The old Rita Resco lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I asked them, I said, so then you're telling me that that property was passed through without ever being taxed or assessed? And they said, yes. And I said, can you do that? And they said, no. Basically, because when you do that, because it was done in a separate real estate transaction. Okay? So it was done in a separate real estate transaction through Rita Resco doing a deed in trust to the Northern Trust Company, which owns the house, not the Obamas. So it was done without ever being assessed or taxed in a separate event, creating a taxing liability, and that was never paid on a $104,000 lot, which was the overinflated value that the lot had. So fact, okay, as per the Cook County Recorded Deeds, there are no records prior to 2005, on the sale of the big house, and the Resco lot. With that PIN number 036, there was a 20-month gap in the document recordings for that PIN number, between 2005 and 2007, okay, when the PIN number 035 was dissolved by Cook County and then created 036. But I asked him, I said, but that PIN number has been in existence since like 2005. So how can it be created in 2007? And they had no comment. They couldn't answer it. So in 2001, Wandisford, the guy who owned the house who split the lot and split the house, he's the one that created that PIN number, the 035, for 5050 South Greenwood. And the Obama's buffer zone, it never had an address. It was just chopped off of that big lot, the 5050, and then just given to the the trust without ever being taxed or assessed in a separate real estate transaction. And that's a violation. It's tax fraud and it's real estate fraud, verified by Cook County.
Al, I know you have conversations from time to time with Dr. Jerry Corsi, who's
Yes,
done
sir.
an outstanding job. Dr. Corsi has been like a bulldog with a bone in his mouth regarding Barack Obama's identity, and we all owe Jerry Corsi a lot of gratitude for his tenacity in this in the pursuit of the truth. What does Dr. Corsi think about the sanitizing of the records and some of these other matters?
He's not surprised, with his past experiences, with the OBOTs, as he likes to call them, with the people that go behind, trying to cover up what Mr. Obama has done. He wasn't surprised, because we've been working on this now for months, and I've been keeping Mr. Corsi up to date, with my reports that I've been sending him, for some of his articles.
Mm-hmm.
But everything seems to coincide with them trying to hide who they really are and the things that they've done. And I've had people tell me, well, that's the trustee. Harrison J. Bounel is probably is the trustee. No, because I've actually checked the people that work for the Northern Trust Company, and there's nobody that works there by the name of Harrison J. Bounel. Okay, I've checked FINRA. Okay, which used to be the NASD, and I've actually checked on their files, to see if there's a Harrison J. Bounel who's a licensed financial advisor. No, there's not. There is no Harrison J. Bounel who's a registered trustee.
Hey, by the way,
no attorney named Harrison J. Bounel.
I wanted to tell you that that the property that you found in New York State that had Obama's name on it. Mm-hmm. One of our listeners drove there. There's nothing there. That address doesn't exist. When you go there, there is no such place.
I wish I had the money so I could have went up there, but that's one of those anomalies. I still can't figure out why those things are showing up for this man.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're running so many operations with this guy that everything's smoke and mirrors, shell games. They've got the peanut under the shells, and they're moving things around. It's a classic criminal operation. Hey, Al, after you appeared on True News months ago, anything weird happened with you? Anything that out of the ordinary that you kind of like got a little spooked and said that was strange?
What do you mean, like with my computer?
Hey, your computer, anybody following you, anybody, any suspicious activity at your house, anything like that?
Well, there has been I'm not a paranoid person, but there's been a couple of these big black Tahoes, parking out in front of my house, for about maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then they drive off.
Oh, I've seen those before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're nice, brand spanking new Tahoes with these tinted windows.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
just wave at them. I've seen them. They've been at my place before. I know who you're talking about.
But I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and sit in my house and cower. Or they've come by the office. I've seen them. And it's the same black Tahoe with the tinted windows and the nice chrome rims on it. And but they're just there for about maybe 10 minutes, and then they drive off.
Exactly. I know.
And but no, they haven't come up to the house or anything like that. I don't care.
Yeah. Do you have computer problems?
Well, yeah, I have these. I have these firewalls, set up on my computer. I got about maybe 5 or 6 of them. One that I don't use, and the other 5 that I do. And one is my main firewall, and the other ones are backups. And they tell me that every time that somebody's tried to hack into my computer or whatever. But I put that in there as well. People try to hack into computers all the time, for information and stuff like that. Anyway, because my computers, they're hooked up to the internet 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be anything.
Well, my policy has been, I've always just openly said that anybody out there that feels like they need to track me or eavesdrop, and it's like, you're wasting your time. Anything I know, I'm going to say it on the radio. So just save your time and money and listen to the next radio program, because if I know something, I'm going to say it on the radio. I don't have any secrets, so I use this microphone to tell everything I know, and that's my weapon. I don't have any secret information. If I have it, I only have it for 24 hours.
Well, they can, and I want to say this over the radio, okay, over your television program.
There's a radio, yeah. It's radio right now.
That anybody in law enforcement, they can come to my house, they can come to my office, they can sit here and go through my computer. I mean, I'll let them do whatever.
They've already done it now.
Probably.
They did it when you weren't home.
That I keep pulling up through my firewalls are blocked. They're blocked IP addresses.
Right.
So that tells me.
Well, I would, my wish is that the FBI would restore my faith in that agency and surprise all of us by serving an indictment on Barry Soetoro, Barack Obama, Harrison J. Bounel, and all his other personalities. That would be my most wonderful thing that could happen, is that the FBI would actually become the Federal Bureau of Investigation and restore our faith in the rule of law and put this man in prison. Whether, I don't have a lot of confidence that's going to happen, but they might surprise us. I don't want to rule it out. Maybe there's just a tiny, teeny, weeny little chance that they are actually carrying out an investigation of this criminal. But we'll just have to wait and find out.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
The fact still remains. Okay, the alias was there and it's gone. Okay. The man has committed real estate and tax fraud with that buffer zone there in Chicago. Okay? And to be quite honest with you, I could care less about how many addresses he has across the country. Okay? I could care less about the Social Security numbers. I could care less about what the man does behind closed doors. I could care less about his sex life. I don't care what he eats. I don't care what he drinks. I don't even care if he smokes cigarettes, okay? I could care less about that. The fact of the matter is that they elected a man who's president of the United States, bogus Social Security number, bogus birth certificate. The man has committed real estate and tax fraud with that piece of junk house he's got there. And it's really not that pretty of a house, okay? I could get a better house here in Alabama for half the price, okay? The lot that he got from Resco, who's a crook, okay, was never taxed or assessed. It was passed through to the big house. That's a crime, real estate and tax fraud. And they did it inside of the trust, which was a legitimate way of doing it. The trust has nothing to do with it. It's what was done within the trust that's where the crimes took place, not the trust itself. Okay, because I used to set up trusts all the time. For my clients as a financial, we used to set up family trusts all the time. Okay, so that way they can ease the taxing liabilities of their income. So they can pass it on through to to the family members. When they die.
Mm-hmm.
But what this man did was a crime, and he's hiding behind it. Okay,
and somebody is protecting him. That's the real issue. Who does he work for? Because he's just a little puppet. He's nobody.
That's all he is.
He's nobody. He the guy is not that bright. He's incompetent. He works for somebody, and that's the real issue. And my gut feeling is that his masters will make a decision soon on whether he is a liability or an asset. And if they decide he is a liability, I doubt seriously any of this stuff will ever come out, into the public, that they would find out that he really is a fraud, an imposter.
Well, my congressman, okay,
Mm-hmm.
my congressman Spencer Banks, I talked to their office 4 days ago, okay, and they flat out told me that they don't have the power to do anything. Okay?
Oh, they're just a wimp. It's called congressional investigation. I mean, here the bottom line is, Mr. Boehner, Speaker of the House, is not going to do anything. He's going to play golf with Mr. Obama. He's going to give him his $2.5 trillion debt increase. Mr. Boehner is going to stop all investigations, either because Mr. Boehner is compromised himself and cannot expose what's going on, or he is scared poopless of who controls Obama, and he's not going to challenge them. But you can't forget that any of these congressmen are going to dare to challenge this guy. It's only going to happen by us continuing to bring the truth out. Just like you, a citizen investigator, you revealed something that ABC and CNN and Fox News and the Washington Post and the New York Times, they couldn't find it. But Al Hendershot found it. And it's just like Jerry Corsi has done an outstanding job, and True News has done a job, and all of us together, we're going to just make it so embarrassing for them. This is what I was saying a few minutes ago, Al, that his handlers, his owners, his masters will have to make a decision very soon whether Obama is a liability or an asset. Right now, he is a major liability. The only asset he is to them is the fact that he continues to damage the Republic of the United States of America and get away with it. They're going to have to make a decision as we go into the 2012 election whether they need to replace him with another puppet. That's going to be the issue. But I don't think they'll ever bring out the truth. I think what they'll simply do is tell him, it's over. You're going to be a one-termer. You're going to announce that for the sake of the country, you're not going to run again, but you're out. That's the only chance right now that they're going to drop this guy like a hot potato, because he's so embarrassing. We're making it embarrassing. You are doing it. Jerry Corsi's doing it. World Net Daily is doing it. Orly Tates is doing it. Many, many people together. We're making it so embarrassing for the elitists who control this little twerp. We're making it so embarrassing for them that they will have to make a decision. We've got to jettison this guy, or he may get us all exposed. And they can't allow that to happen. They'll simply tell him, you and Michelle, here's your paycheck. See, I think he's already collected his money to damage the United States. I think he's got a bank account in the Cayman Islands or Switzerland or someplace. He's already been paid to damage the United States of America. And they may tell him, that's it, you're retired, get out of here. We got another clown coming in who's going to do the next wave of judgment against this country. So anyhow, that's my thought. And Al, yes, sir. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Okay. If there's anybody that is an attorney or if there's anybody that works in law enforcement, please find a way to contact me, okay? And because what I want to do is I want to share the information that I have on the Resco lot, okay, which is the proof that the real estate fraud and tax fraud took place. I can explain it to them as long as they need me to, okay? But I'm begging on my hands and knees for someone to help me get this information out.
Why don't you just make a visit to the Chicago FBI office and tell them you've got evidence of criminal activity? Just do it. Just going down. You're not in Chicago.
I'm in Alabama.
You're in Alabama. Go to the Birmingham office of the FBI, and just
jurisdictional thing.
That's right. Tell them you have to report a federal crime. You have evidence of felonies being committed, and put them on the spot. That you handed the evidence to them. That's the way to do it. This is what we have to do. Go to officials and hand them the evidence. Go to the investigators. Mail it. Put all this information in the mail. Send it to a federal prosecutor in Illinois. Put these rascals on the spot. Right now they can say, I don't know anything about it. But when you can say, no, I sent it to you, registered mail, you signed for it, or I handed it to agent so-and-so, now they have to do something with it. They have to say, we looked into it and there was nothing, or they have to make some type of determination that there is a crime going on. Al, I appreciate everything you're doing. Al Hendershot, the guy who discovered the other alias for Barack Obama, Harrison J. Bounel. The guy has so many names. I doubt if he knows who he is. I think the man truly doesn't know his identity. I'm Rick Wiles. You're listening to True News. We'll take a break. I'll be back with some more True News.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.